usually we start these Toonwerks podcasts with us mid-discussion, and then we start the podcast. But
do we really?
Yeah, but let's just do it now. Hey, I'm Joseph Blanchett.
Hello.
Hi. Who are you guys?
That was just like a knee-jerk reaction.
Hi, I'm Mark Schneider.
Oh, how you doing? We should make cartoons together.
Nice to meet you.
Who's this tall man over here?
This tall man is busy reading about pizza scissors.
You know, we should have Chris Bow on this podcast since we'll be talking about stuff related to that he helped create. But
see, because
we'll bring it up.
Yeah,
you'll be here in spirit.
Yeah. We are Toonwerks.
Hello.
And you probably just listened to another podcast where we talked about episode 5.
Hopefully.
And we're going to talk more about episode 5 because that was recorded 4 months ago.
No, lots happened. Mainly 4 months of nothing, and then we released something.
Yeah. So most of the stuff we talked about is still true. So we won't talk about any of that. But we did add music to it.
Yeah, that was a big thing that we did that we actually made the decision to do the original music. I think, as the cartoon was just getting done, wasn't it?
We had 5% left, and then
well, because we were under the impression
that's when you actually had the whole rent issue happen, and so you kind of went away, and you were the guy who was talking to Pierce Sicard, who was doing all the music.
It was another thing too that he was originally just going to write the theme song, wasn't he, or something, or he wasn't even going to do episode 5. Then we had him do it anyway. Well, because we also didn't think it was going to take very long. That was the other big thing. And we were just like, eh.
Yeah.
I think Joseph is actually quoted somewhere on the internet here, on the Toonwerks channel, is on the preview going oh, we're just going to take a month to get the music. And then it's 4 or 5 months later. It's oh.
Yeah, Pierce got a job at the same time that was pretty much took a lot of his time because he works for a living.
Well, yeah. Well, it's he works at a place that demands his attention.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I don't know if he would want us to say what it is. I doubt it matters, but whatever.
President of the United States.
He's a drug runner.
Oh. He's one of those two. Guess which one?
They're both basically the same.
You may be pleasantly surprised.
Damn it! You beat me to it, Joseph.
Yeah, the music's awesome. One thing that you might have noticed, which isn't really anyone's fault, the volume mix, the mix of the sound, the volume of it's a little bit weird in places.
Yeah, I've actually been talking to Pierce about that because once he saw the file after watching the YouTube version a couple times, he was like, "This isn't right. Something's definitely wrong."
What?
Yeah.
So what was on YouTube isn't what he had on his.
Somewhat.
It's possible that because he made 2 versions of it. He made an MP3 and a WAV. Ultimately, the WAV wouldn't export.
We actually looked into that just before we started talking to you guys today, and he doesn't think it's the MP3. It's either the settings on the export of the Premiere from Premiere, or it's the YouTube compression. It could be either.
So it's your fault.
I bet it's not YouTube because they're pretty good with that. We apologize for that. It still doesn't really ruin the cartoon or anything, but future versions, on Newgrounds and possibly my channel, will have that new version on.
Pierce is working on fixing that up. He really wants to.
So this is the super rare version that's going to be worth a lot of money one day.
Speaking of that, I do want to plug that Pierce will be, or probably by the time this is out, it will be out, releasing a version of the soundtrack. I think on Bandcamp for 99 cents or $1 or something.
Do you know what the address is?
I will get it right.
Yeah, I've seen it.
We'll put that in the podcast description.
http:// No, I don't know.
Probably his name. Bandcamp. Yeah, so that's gonna be cool. We're gonna have an official soundtrack, guys. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I don't remember what I was going to say. That's why I told you to go ahead.
Yep. So, episode 5's out. So let's talk about the future. What is 2015
Well, it's
flying
always
carts,
possible
hoverboards.
that aliens will contact Earth or a meteor could hit us. I mean, those
Yeah,
things.
it's always a possibility, I guess.
Well, if the internet gets shot into space, then we know something's going to happen.
There is possibly a hypernova that's bigger than a supernova and all that will be probably going off sometime within our lifetimes and will be as bright as the moon in the sky. That's going to happen in the future.
Cool.
You know,
we'll be visiting Pluto in a couple months.
No,
I'm
but
serious. We'll be visiting Pluto in a couple months. We have a probe going out there.
In all seriousness, though, so yeah, future of Toonwerks. Well,
Pluto. We'll be going to Pluto.
there's yeah, we're gonna. God, no, yeah, like so there's a lot of things. I'm sure we've talked endlessly about what was all that? Oh, my dogs. Sorry.
Let the dogs out.
No, they're so like Toonwerks itself is kind of going under some revision on how we deal with things internally and how things are written and stuff like that. I don't know if you guys want to get into that or not. I think I kind of did.
All our employees.
I actually and I'll probably still gonna do this, but since I had to move and stuff, I was like, maybe I'll wait. Was gonna start doing a like sort of a podcast series on the channel that I actually recorded and edited. But I had to put like bumpers on it and stuff, and just didn't have the time because I had like basically got evicted, and I had to move and stuff, and it was really bad. And it was still there, but it was like made with the pretense that episode 5 wasn't done yet. So I was like, well, I probably should not release this then and just redo it. But I can't redo it because I don't have my green screen, which I used in it as well. So like, you know, that's just all getting delayed. But yeah, there was that kind of talking about sort of the production of episode 5, and now we want to change things in the future. So I don't know if you guys want to actually talk about it or not, but there's that. There's also new projects.
Yeah. So in order to make more wonders, we're actually going to do something else.
We need a break from wonders, and I know that's weird coming from something that considering how long this took, but
well, it's a break and it's not a break at the same time.
It's a mental break.
You're okay, so like, you know,
let's announce what we're doing first.
Yeah, this has actually technically already been announced, but I don't think a lot of our personal followers know about it because
we haven't said anything specifically.
We haven't said anything. From I guess I always want to call it that guy with the glasses, but it's actually called Channel Awesome or whatever. Yeah. Their website. One of their producers, I guess you call him a producer, is
content creators. Yeah,
is Brad Jones, also known as the Cinema Snob. He had an animated series a while back called The Game Boys, and we were going to do season 2 of that, but then decided no, there was problems or something, so we went and he's got another idea we're going to do instead, called Lloyd, which
based around, well, not really based on his cat, but the character is his cat. It was apparently very popular among his fans. We should say that like Crispo was able to get in contact with Brad Jones through various cons because they're in the same area. So Crispo, unfortunately, is not here. He's been he pretty much does all the networking because he gets places.
Yeah. Well, Crispo works at a medieval times as the dungeon master.
Yes.
So he goes to a lot of conventions like for medieval times, and since they're in the same area, they usually go to the same places. And so like every time they met, like Crispo's just networking, like you said. He's like, hey, I have this cartoon here. It's about this. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, they went back and forth
if I remember
for
correctly, it was Chris had asked him about Game Boys. Like, whatever happened to that? And he was like, well, I was thinking about restarting it again. And then Chris was like, well, let me tell you something. I know a guy.
Who knows a guy?
Who knows a guy?
Yeah, so Crispo's networking and has been awesome. This is a
ultimately ended up being a different. You know, we kind of sat on things for several months while we were doing episode 5, and we moved on. We ended up not doing another season of Game Boys, but something else.
And luckily, Brad Jones was still like, yeah, I still want you guys to do stuff. So
well, he was really busy too. So
season 1 of Game Boys actually animated by Chris Neosi, friend of Toonwerks and animator of Tome and voice of WotU.
But yeah, so. Yeah, he proposed this idea to us. We all had a big like Skype call or whatever, and we were talking about doing this series, and it seems like a lot of fun actually.
Yeah,
much more interesting to be completely honest than Game Boys was.
Well, for us anyway. There's a lot more.
For us, yeah. There's more character moments to this.
So what is the premise of Lloyd? What can we talk about?
I don't know how much we're allowed to talk about. I mean, like,
we can say kind of. I don't know what he totally said. Well, it's about his cat who. Let me just go to his Patreon page and see what he posted.
Yeah, it's on the Patreon page. It's
I backed his Patreon. Did you back his Patreon?
That would feel weird because that money's going towards us for helping produce this series. Yeah, so Lloyd is his cat. He's a detective, and the premise of the show is he's going to solve crimes based on like the movies that he reviewed. So we're not going to say what what some of them are, but like just imagine if characters from some of his more popular reviews like go to this cat character and says, "Hey, I need you to help me."
Yeah, and I don't think we can talk about script stuff, but reading over the first script that he gave us, there are character moments. It's not just reference upon reference upon reference. There's plenty of that, but he's actually written a nice story to it, and we really enjoyed it.
They're written surprisingly well. Like,
not that we were downing Brad Jones's writing.
Well, I mean,
we weren't expecting it. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that's the thing is, like, most of the time, like, I know personally, I watch a lot of stuff on the internet. Like, I think every day when I get home from work, I turn on, like, the Yogs cast, I turn on that guy with the glasses, or Channel Awesome now. I watch through all kinds of stuff. So, I mean, like, I'm used to a lot of things basically being nothing but references. Like, that's what most internet humor is, and it, not downplaying it, but that's... I don't want to say that's what I was expecting, but I figured there'd be a lot of that in there. No, it's actually written very well. Like, it's very solid. So, that was great. I was like, oh, this is nice. Like, it's more of the stuff that we kind of try to do ourselves. You know,
and it is full of references, but it's referencing stuff that no one knows about.
So, well, which is also what we do. You know?
We should say that this is being written by Brad Jones and his team. I think it's primarily Brad Jones. They were doing all the voices as well.
Crispo has had some influence.
Yeah, Crispo has had some influence, which is great. But it's not our Toonwerks stuff, so it's not us doing the writing. We're basically doing the production of it. So we'll have our style of animation. I'm actually going to be doing a slightly different style of animation to make it quicker and easier to do without sacrificing a lot of probably. Make it more cartoony, but I think we'll be able to put our touch onto it, and it'll be pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, it probably won't be on our channel. It'll probably just be on Brad Jones's website. But we'll see what kind of extra stuff we can do with it. Like, we'll probably do commentaries.
Do production.
But those might be like Patreon rewards. So we don't really know yet.
Yeah. So.
But we're looking forward to it.
It's important to note that this isn't us saying like we're going to stop doing Wonder, because that's not true.
We're sellouts.
So here's something where we have to balance, and we haven't really talked about exactly what our plan is, but we're definitely going to do Lloyd, and we're not going to talk about like the details of what we're getting out of it and all that stuff. But we want to do Wonders at the same time. We want to at least get a few shorts and episode 6 done within the year, like maybe even start on like episode 7 by the end.
Actually, finish something within a year.
Yeah. So we're not sure how long, like what the schedule for Lloyd is going to be quite yet. Like, I imagine, like, it'll be an episode, work some on our stuff, and then like when we need a break, work on another episode, because we're hoping Lloyd is
a lot easier to make. And
Lloyd's going to be much quicker to make than a Wonders
We've talked to
episode.
Brad Jones about that. He seems very open to the idea of us being able to work around what we want to work on as well, at the same time producing his stuff. And we also have, we might do things like have Joseph or Casey animate one of the longer episodes instead of me, or focus on some other stuff. Yeah,
that's one of the big things is the changes in the pipeline. Like I mentioned earlier with Toonwerks, where we're spending a lot less time fretting over scripts and things like that. It's like, okay, well, we'll just write things and we'll keep them moving, rather than like, I mean, it from an outside perspective, I can imagine when someone says like, oh, we're not going to finesse things as much, doesn't sound good. But like, I would say with episode 5, we probably went a little bit overboard with some of the finessing. I was going nuts by the end of it. I was just like, I don't care anymore, just release episodes. it's like, and that's just one of the things that we kind of have to learn to get over, is that sometimes you just kind of move on with it. And that's in the future. That's kind of more what we're doing, where it's like, okay, well, we'll have a person write a script, and then we'll edit it and stuff, and then we'll move and keep things going. So yeah, I mean, ultimately, it's just like we want to work on them both sort of at the same time.
I mean, we're like all three of us are animators, but in the past, neither of us really did much of the animating.
We would just make Mark do everything. We'd just be like, "Here you go, Mark." Animate all this stuff.
It's my focus, and it gives me the most control over it as well.
I mean, he's like the best animator.
Here, I'm not so much a control freak, but I have like a vision, and I have probably the most film training out of all of us. So
you're very cinematographic. It's not a word, but
I'm cinematographic.
It's when it comes to like using the camera, you're like the best of us.
Yeah,
but I mean that's also where storyboards come in and help. But I mean, the big thing to remember is that when you look at the internet and you look at like animation specifically, when you look at like cartoon channels and stuff, like on YouTube or whatever, usually it's like one guy that it's like you've got your I'm trying to have like a good example here. The guy, for example, like the guy that does like Starbarians or whatever, like it's
Happy Harry.
Yeah, like he's got people that help him, I'm sure. But like it's like he's like the one name, whereas Toonwerks is like a group of people, but we've never really taken advantage of that. It's always just been like, okay, we're gonna work as 3 people, but it's gonna be like one person working at a time.
It was never really a huge focus because it was never really a big issue. But episode 5 kind of showed us how that can backfire if it doesn't work out correctly.
Yeah,
it's sort of like we're like a Megatron or Megazoid or something, except we all connect to each other and we're all different limbs and body parts, but we all control the full robot, so we're each fighting with each other.
So here's the tentative schedule, and of course this could all change. I'm in the middle of animating a short, which I'm a little slower at animation, so I've been working on it for a little bit. It too had a lot of issues in its production, just with another animator who ultimately couldn't do it.
He was like in the hospital.
Yeah, it's a lot of horrible stuff, and now he like moved and doesn't have internet at the moment. But so I started working on that about a month ago, and I thought I would get most of it done, but I'm only about halfway done at the moment. So once I get done with artwork for Lloyd, I'm going to finish that up. There is another longer short that's kind of more in like Stardate length that I hope Casey is going to work on. And I'll probably help out too.
What's that supposed to be?
Like me and Casey will work on that while Mark is animating the first episode of Lloyd. And that will probably be the kind of the first quarter of the year, I imagine.
Crispo also has something that he could be working on.
Yeah, but he's so busy all the time. I honestly don't know if you'll ever get to that.
We can always pass it on to someone else. I've got I've got to finish up the voicing for another Lindsay-based short.
Yeah, so hopefully Mark can do this really quick short while we're waiting for Lloyd's stuff to actually start.
Yeah,
so.
I'm actually in the middle of moving right now, so I've been way too busy bringing stuff up and down stairs. Yeah. Mostly down.
So your house has stairs?
Yes, and my apartment was on the 3rd floor and it didn't have an elevator.
Oh, so you're used to stairs.
Yeah, but not carrying things. So, and I have a lot of stuff.
And we want to, in the middle of this, like whenever we need like a break from animating, we want to get most of the remainder of the season of Wonders written.
Yeah,
we have a pretty good roadmap. I was about to say road plan. Roadmap of
we have a great dental plan for the next season
of what the remaining episodes are, like not shorts, actual episodes for Wonders is. So we have up to episode 10 planned, which is actually probably going to be 2 parts.
Possibly episode 11, because of the 2-part thing.
Well, yeah, it's 2-part. Well, we'll figure
we'll figure it all out, and of course these things take a long time to make. So we're not quite sure how it's going to work out. Yeah, so we're not quite sure how it's all going to work out, like in detail. But we want to get a lot of this stuff written.
I mean, first. That's one big thing. Like, if you consider episodes 1 through 5 as like a season, and then like so just kind of what we're doing, and then episodes 6 through 10, part 1 and part 2, is a season. Like, big differences is that in season 1, we didn't write a lot of this. In fact, we didn't write any of this ahead of time. It'd be like, okay, what should episode 4 be? And we would just kind of come up with it on the spot. Whereas this is like, all right, now we need an actual plan, and we actually sat down and said like, okay, here's what episode 6 is going to be, here's what episode 7 is going to be, and we're actually like, we have like outlines for all of them. So I mean, like
we've got like a story arc for the season, for the that season, if that's what we're going to call it. So we've got ideas for making sure this is turning into like an actual series rather than just like
the first couple are kind of like on their own separate things.
Yeah.
But like the last half of the season, we're moving towards the finale. And,
not the series finale.
Yeah, well, it could be. Who knows? But
we could all be 70 years old.
I mean, they're all going to be self-contained, but there's going to be like an overarching plot that we're moving towards.
We're like an inverse. We're like an inverse Marvel Pictures, where they announced the next 40,000 movies for the next 32 years or whatever. And we're announcing the next 32 movies for the next 40,000 years.
But yeah, I mean, so like the writing is one of the things. Like another big thing is that we're probably gonna do a lot of the art assets and stuff ahead of time. And like we're probably gonna have more than one of us like animating as well. Because I mean, like we're looking at doing stylistic changes with the animation and all that to be able to work on it faster, so that more of us can probably animate at once as well.
And
so.
Might like throw around the idea of getting another outside animator. We tried that before, but never really found anyone appropriate for it.
Anybody out there?
Yeah, anyone's interested. We're not sure if it'll be episodes or shorts or what it will be, but
send your resumes.
Maybe if you want to put the focus on episodes again after this little batch of shorts.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. It's a living process.
It's all fluid in motion, or whatever.
Synergy.
Basically,
it's a non-Newtonian fluid.
It's basically the worst parts of the Bible.
Basically, like I just want people to know that things are moving. It's not like, okay, we're gonna go do Lloyd now. Goodbye to Wonders or whatever.
I mean, I was actually kind of worried about that. It's like, Mark seems really into Lloyd now. I wonder what's gonna happen to Wonders.
No, it's mostly because like we also need to get our feet wet in like a business sense. Like we need to actually start taking projects for people, because that's one of those things that like it'll help us get our names out there more, and also help us work with new styles and subject materials.
And Mark gets really bored if he works on one thing for a while. So
I need variety. I like being creative in different ways.
He can't just eat chicken every night.
Yeah, so
I have if it was the right kind of chicken.
You'll have like a month or two of like foul-mouthed cats making sex jokes, and then we'll have like a cartoon where we argue if we should curse. So it'll be that.
They're coming out of the damn ceilings.
We'll have to tell that story one time.
We kind of did in that other.
Oh, did we? Okay, it's been so long, I don't remember.
But we haven't talked about the fish slapped in episode 6.
We'll see. Yeah, so like we're really excited working with Brad Jones with Lloyd. I've been working on art. I got a lot of the characters done.
Yep, we're actually hoping to show him a bunch of stuff tomorrow. So
very early in production.
Yeah, we're pretty much getting. We've got the script from him for the first episode, so we're doing some preliminary backgrounds and character art. And once we get the script from him, I'll cut it together. Well, he's going to cut it together, but I'm going to cut it, more fluidly. And then we'll be able to start working on like storyboards and specific shots and things like that, and just production will be normal again. So, wish us luck.
Wish us luck. And we'll talk about in 2016 where it all went wrong. And we only released a half an episode.
Because I wanted Lloyd to be 40 feet tall and have perfectly animated whiskers. But I never got the whisker graphics.
Yeah. And I just refused to animate anything else. Yep. Anything else, guys? Anything else you want to talk about?
Everybody coming to my birthday party? I sent all of you guys out there invitations, and I haven't heard back yet. So
if you can find out where Mark lives, you're welcome to go there and hang out.
Don't say that. Holy shit.
Well, anyways, I think that probably covers it. Yeah, and extra.
Yeah, so talked about Lloyd, talked about how we wanted to work on Wonders. We are not going to do another Minecraft movie.
We didn't talk about how adorable this dog is. I'm gonna send you both a picture right now.
Once you start talking about dogs, the podcast is over.
Did it even send? I don't think it sent. Oh, there it goes.
It does that online thing.
That's the dog you could. No one can see it. That's watching this podcast.
Oh my god, he's adorable.
If this is a podcast, we can put it on the screen. So, all right, thanks, guys. Make sure to watch, if you haven't yet, watch episode 5 of Wonders at youtube.com/channel Toonwerks.
Yes. If you want to check out Brad Jones, just Google CinemaStob or check him out on Channel Awesome Patreon.
The more you support his Patreon, probably the more work we'll be able to do.
Yeah.
So.
More times I'll show you this picture.
Oh, not that all the money's going to us or anything, but definitely one of the goals was animated series, so that's why we're doing this.
Yep.
So, all right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody. Guys and girls.
Oh, guys and girl, one girl.
One.
Miranda.
Well, no, we have more voice actresses now.
That's true. All right, bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.